Ladies and gentlemen, this is Lions Den with another news and commentary. If this is your first time on my channel, make sure you like, click, and subscribe for more news and commentary. Now, with that being said, Derek Chauvin trial has, with the 14 jurors has been completed. And this is concerning. Now, Derek Chauvin, for those of you who don't know, is the police officer that killed George Floyd when he put his knee in the back of his neck. So the trial probably will start either by the end of March or the first week of April. Now, of course, this is what's concerning about this. I want you to pay attention of the 14 jurors that are seated in this case. I want you to pay attention. And this article comes from NPR. It says the 14 jurors were selected in former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin's murder trial on Monday, 1 week before opening arguments are scheduled to begin on March 29th. The court initially called for 12 jurors and at least 2 alternates. It could now add additional jurors to the panel in case anyone dropped out. Chauvin, who is white, is charged with second-degree unintentional murder, third-degree murder, and second-degree manslaughter in last year's killing of George Floyd, who was black. Video recordings show that Floyd was held face down on the asphalt and that Chauvin kept his knee on Floyd's neck for nearly 9 minutes. The jury reflects a range of ethnicities, although slightly over half of the jurors have been described in court as white. Let me repeat that one more time. The jury reflects a range of ethnicities, although slightly over half of the jurors have been described in court as white. Now, I want you to hear this because, ladies and gentlemen, this is concerning. This is very concerning for a number of reasons. I'm going to get to that after I finish this. It says, among the 14 seated, there are 3 black men, including 2 who are immigrants. You hear that right. 2 black men, 2 out of 3 black men in the jury are immigrants. 1 black woman, 2 women who are identified as multiracial. You never know if that woman is Latino or Asian. We don't know that, but they're multiracial, right? 2 white men, and guess what? 6 white women. You heard that right, y'all. 6 white women. That's going to be the predominantly of the jurors. That's why I'm concerned about this. Because if you have 6 white women, 2 white men, and 3 black women, 2 of them are immigrants, and 1 black woman in a jury, that right there could basically open your eyes a little bit. Obviously, 6 white women are now the majority of the jury. And I'm going to continue reading this article. It said, Minnesota Public Radio reports. The trial is expected to last at least 4 weeks. The 2 alternate jurors won't know of their status until the panel heads to deliberation phase. Jury selection in the case has often moved more quickly than was predicted when it began on March 9th. The process was expected to last several weeks as the judge, prosecutors, and defense attorneys quizzed dozens of potential jurors, of their lives and of any opinions they held about Floyd's death in police custody last Memorial Day. I'm going to stop you right there. Now, those questionnaires they issued to the jurors or potential jurors were some questions that are a little bit off or sketchy. And this is why it's so confusing to even put people in the jury pool, because the questions that they asked them either doesn't make sense or it's off the subject. So this to me, y'all, this is why I say this is very sketchy or suspect. And I wouldn't even be surprised that the jurors that they pick are the jurors that may help Derek Chauvin. Because if you think about it, y'all, and I'm gonna finish reading this article. But if you think about it, y'all, 9 white women, 3 black men, 2 are immigrants, some are multicultural women, and then 1 black woman. Oh, that tells you right there that I know this jury pool has been fixed. But let me continue reading this article. It says, the relatively fast-paced endured despite the loss last week of 2 jurors who were struck from the panel after they said that because of Minneapolis receiving $27 million settlement with Floyd's family, they could no longer promise to be impartial. A wave of publicity about that payout prompted Hennepin County Judge Peter Cahill to give both sides of the case additional preparatory challenges to strike potential jurors from the panel. The jury reached 14 members days after Cahill denied defense motions to move the case to another venue or delay the proceedings, steps that Chauvin attorney Eric Nelson called for because of the potential impact of the settlement news on the jury pool. I do not think that would give the defendant any kind of fair trial beyond what we are doing here today, Cahill said on Friday. I don't think there's any place in the state of Minnesota that has not been subjected to extreme amounts of publicity on this case. The initial jury pool included 326 people as of late last week. Cahill said that the court had questioned around 60 of them. The selection process continued on Monday as the judge and the 2 sides of the case sought to ensure the jury is fair and impartial. As of around midday Monday, the defense had used, check this out, y'all. As of around midday Monday, the defense had used 14 of its 18 challenges, and the prosecutors had only 8 of their 10 challenges, Cahill said. I'm going to stop you right there. If this isn't fair, I don't know what you call this. So in other words, the defense had used 14 of its 18 challenges, and the prosecutor had used 8 of their 10 challenges. So in other words, you can tell right there that this favors Derek Chauvin, because you got all these things happening, including the jury pool, how it sets up, and then you have 14 out of 18 challenges. The defense get more challenges than prosecutors do. This is not good. This is really, really not good. Let me continue this. It said in another ruling from Friday, Cahill found that only a portion of the evidence and details from an earlier police stop of Floyd will be. Yo, this is why I said this is not fair, right there. So really the judge going to allow the defense bringing their case and not the prosecution. So it said in another ruling, again, I'm going to repeat this. In another ruling from Friday, Cahill found out only a portion of the evidence and detail from an earlier police stop of Floyd would be allowed in the trial. In other words, they're going to bring in what the defense want, and that's the drug part, that he had drug problems. I'm talking about George Floyd had drugs in his system. So that's what the defense is going to try to bring in, and the judge is going to allow that. Wow. So, and they said that Cahill noticed similarities between Floyd's interaction with police on May 25th, 2020, and the early police stop on May 6, 2019. In both instances, the judge said they were signs that Floyd had ingested drugs after being approached by police officers. In 2 cases, Cahill said Floyd's physical behavior is remarkably similar. Ladies and gentlemen, what does this have to do with what happened with George Floyd that day? Drugs didn't have anything to do with the incident that happened that day. What Derek Chauvin put a knee in the back of his damn neck. But what they're trying to do is to make it seem that during that time, George Floyd died. George Floyd died when he was taking drugs, or he had drugs in the system. Not what happened with Derek Chauvin put a knee in his neck. And this is why I'm saying that all this is favor towards Derek Chauvin, because not only for the jury pool, Not only defense had their way bringing in evidence that George Floyd was a drug addict, all of this is going to be included in this. So they said, but the judge also said Floyd's emotional behavior from that earlier encounter was not. This is why I say this is basically. Let's just say this. I'm just predicting this. That this case alone, they're gonna let Derek Chauvin walk. I can just say it right now. They're gonna let this man walk. I'll be highly surprised they're gonna convict this guy because it's so much against. But it's so much for Derek Chauvin. The jury pool, the defense attorneys bringing all the stuff that talk about that George Floyd has a drug problem, that drugs probably killed him. And this is right. This is why I said that this trial is basically a waste of damn time. It is. So let me finish this article. It says, but the judge also said Floyd's emotional behavior from that earlier encounter was not admissible, and he restricted how much of a police video recording from the 2019 arrest could be used in court. The only recordings from the 2019 incident that are relevant to the current case, he added, are segments that could be linked to the cause of Floyd's death and his medical condition. The case is being closely watched, with Floyd's death having inflamed widespread protests against racial equality and police brutality. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of the NPR article. See, y'all, I knew this is going to happen because how the questionnaire has been set up by jurors. And when I found out that only 9 white women, 3 black men, 2 are immigrants, 2 are multiracial, and one black woman in this juror pool, I knew for a fact that, yeah, Derek Chauvin gonna walk. And I'm sorry to say this, a lot of people gonna say, well, you never know, Lions Den, you never know, they may convict the officer. Please. It's all in Derek Chauvin's favor. The jury pool, they're bringing all the drug situation with George Floyd had in the past. They're going to bring all that in this case. Not one case that what the police did, even Derek Chauvin's history, they ain't going to bring it in trial. So this is, to me, shows you it goes to Derek Chauvin's favor, really. You know, and like I said, what Derek Chauvin did with that child, it's not going to be admissible in court. So all of this is happening now. It shows you that, unless there's a highly big evidence against Derek Chauvin that nobody knew about, this man is going to walk. So y'all let me know what you think about this. It shows you the criminal justice system, how it has been set up, that it's going to favor the defense than the prosecution in this case. Because obviously, we have 14 jurors, predominantly white women in this jury pool. It's all said and done. Derek Chauvin, he's going to walk similarly. They got 3 black men, 2 of them immigrants, a couple of multiracial, probably Chinese or Indian or possibly Latina, and then all of a sudden you got 1 black woman and 1 black man. This is ridiculous. This is a set case, period. This is outrageous, but y'all let me know what you think about this. Like, click, subscribe, and remember to click the notification bell for all the news and commentary. With that being said, this is Lions Den signing off. Deuces.